Okay, so this is the Pully puller kit that I bought, and I found it brand new on eBay for 25 bucks. Just because as much as I'm going to be doing this, I thought it'd be best just to go ahead and buy my own. Most auto stores do have a free rental program where you can rent this this toolkit for free, just FYI. Okay, so the way these tools work when you're trying to remove a pulley, it starts with these two clamshells. And if you notice, there's actually two different sizes. So this one's a little more circular shape, so that's got a smaller lip. This one has a larger lip. Depends on the size of your pulley, what you're doing. So your pulley will have a lip on it, and so this will grab that lip, and then this sleeve will hold it all together. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start with this here. I'm going to thread this until that's just about out. That's a little too far. Okay, and then I'm going to put this in here, which is going to push against the shaft, and then I'm going to decide which one of these clamshell side I should use to grab that. Oops, I've got it there. Okay, and then so as you'll see, the pulley, the actual pulley that we're taking off is going to be trapped inside here. So I've got too much threaded, obviously. There. So the shaft of the pulley will be here, and the lip on the pulley will be there. And I'll slide this ring over here, over this, to hold it all together. And then what I'll do is I'll hold it with one wrench, and then this I will, tighten this in. And as this tightens in, it pushes against the shaft of that pulley, and then because that clamshell, remember, is in there grabbing that lip on the pulley, it'll bring the pulley forward off the shaft. Okay, so I'm going to be replacing this. Here's my power steering pump. I'm going to replace this bracket. The problem that I'm having is these are not the original heads that were on this motor, and so you can see the bracket, the original head had a hole here to accept with this bracket, similar to what you see here, and so it no longer has that. So this bracket is not staying on very taut, and this belt keeps slipping loose as a result. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen up this screw back there, or that bolt, I'm sorry, right there on that sway arm, and I'm going to move this forward so that I can, step one is get this belt off. So that's what I'm going to do now, is so I can get this belt off, so I can start getting this pulley off and the bracket out of here. And I have a new bracket, which I'm going to show you momentarily, that we're going to be putting on instead. Okay, so with all that loosened up, I was able to swing that in and get this belt there off that pulley. Okay, so this is me putting on the pulley puller. So there's the pulley, okay, and there's, see this lip, there's the clamshell, and then there's the assembly. And so I'm going to put the other half of the clamshell on, and then what holds it, and then I'll be able to basically thread this bolt here into here by holding this, and it'll pull that off, the pulley off. Okay, so now you can see here's the pulley, and I have the assembly put together. There's the clamshell, got the sleeve over it so it doesn't fall apart, and I'm going to be holding this and then tightening this down so that it pulls the pulley away. Just as a side note, I'm not disconnecting the power steering pump. That one with the metal line in it, that's under pressure. So, and I don't want to have to bleed the power steering and all that crap. There's plenty of videos out there that show how to do that if you need to, but I am not messing with all that. I'm not even going to disconnect these lines. Like I said, the metal one's under pressure. Okay, so this is my new bracket, and I know it looks like there's not much to it, but let me just give a quick overview. So these two bolts are going to mount to the engine block. This is going to mount to the power steering pump, and this here is going to mount to the power steering pump and go back, and this is where your pivot arm is, where you can, you know, loosen and tighten. So there's not much to it. I'll show you the old pump. So this is the old pump bracket. Sorry, earlier I said the old pump, but I meant the old pump bracket. So you can see it's a big heavy piece of metal, and there's a lot to it. The other one's much simpler. Okay, so to show you how to install the pulley back on the shaft is, I found the right one of these that screws in here. So you see that inside your shaft, it's threaded. So I thread that on. Okay, then the washer, and then the bearing piece, it's got a bearing on it. This side needs to go against so that it could turn. Okay, and then back to this assembly again. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, now this piece is threaded as well, so it sits in there like that, and then I'm going to screw this all together. And then what I did is tighten this. It's the same principle, only it's reverse of taking it off. And what it does is, as you thread this piece in where my thumb is into that, it smashes the pulley in place. Okay, so I have the new power steering pump bracket on. Got it all put back together. See, this attaches here to the water pump, through the water pump. It came with this sleeve, this arm bracket, and then right down there, if you can see, right down there, yep, that is the bracket that mounts to the pump, and then the arm goes right through there. So all in all, that is a much better system. I'm able to hold that belt nice and taut, and so I'm really pleased with that. This is the old bracket system, and like I said before, this was really designed to, you know, this bolt here went into the head. I got some new high compression heads, and it doesn't even have the hole for it or anything. So yeah, there was no real way to use this old bracket. So the new bracket is pretty simple, but it works. If you just go to where I found it was, if you just go to eBay and if you just type in like whatever motor size you got, and then power steering bracket, and then you'll see all kinds of options, and you'll see the one. It looks simple. It doesn't even look like a bracket. It's just 3 metal pieces and some miscellaneous bolts, but that's all you really need. Okay, so I got it all back together. I was a little leery with that bracket just because it was like, you know, just a few, you know, small actual brackets instead of this big clunky metal thing, which I'm used to seeing. But I gotta tell you, I'm pretty impressed with it. I really liked it. So let's fire this dude up and see how it goes. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that.